Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
From Tampa Bay streaming news leader, this is ABC Action News, taking action for you.
New tonight, President Joe Biden heading to the Middle East this week as the war between Israel and Hamas intensifies. This as rallies are held across the globe praying for peace. And as we continue seeing images straight from the front lines of the war, I'm speaking with a mental health advocate, learning ways to cope with the trauma. And a new focus for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what needs to happen for the Bucs to turn things around after a tough loss on Sunday. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Ryan. We begin tonight with the big changes in the weather. We all felt it as we woke up this morning. We're enjoying some cooler temperatures out there tonight, but will the chillier weather stick around? Meteorologist Shay Ryan is here with the very latest. Shay, how's it looking?
Well, it is looking even cooler. In fact, as we get into the rest of the overnight here and wake up tomorrow morning, the temps are going to be dramatically lower than they were even this morning when we woke up. So right now, 61 degrees in Tampa, already hitting the 50s around Crystal River into Brooksville, Plant City, Lakeland. Now, keep in mind, we should be waking up to temps that are in the upper 60s, almost 70 degrees. So we're already a good, 8 degrees below average, and we're going to watch the temps fall several more degrees by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Now, the radar is clear. We're starting to see it shift into dry air mode. So again, that's where we're getting a little bit of that scatter showing up on the radar. But we are going to continue to see the skies clearing out. So even though there's a little cloud cover out there right now, acting like a blanket, keeping us a little toastier, that'll keep the temps level for another couple of hours, and then we'll start to watch them falling back through the 50s. So we'll be waking up tomorrow morning in Tampa in the low to mid 50s. And then as we get outside into the suburbs to the north, we're even going to see some upper 40s. So we definitely have a cooler night ahead of us with less wind, though. I'll show you how things are going to come together over the next couple of days and when our next frontal system will come through, coming up in just a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Shay. We'll check back with you. Breaking right now, Clearwater police officers are looking for the person responsible for a deadly shooting. According to the police department, there were reports of gunshots from Drew Street and Orange View Avenue just after 9 o'clock this evening. Shortly after that, officers found a man who had been shot to death on Laura Street. Here's a live look right now from our crew at the scene. It's still an active situation out there. We're working to get more details as officers remain on scene and search for the suspect. Across the globe, people continue to call for a ceasefire as the war in the Middle East intensifies. Over the weekend, thousands gathered in support of Palestine and those trapped in Gaza. Here at home, hundreds showed up tonight in downtown Tampa to rally in support of Israel and to put an end to Hamas. The crowd prayed for the Israeli soldiers on the front lines of the war, and one of the speakers included a mother of one of the soldiers in Israel.
We are one family. Everyone doesn't understand this, but the Jewish people are one family.
These Hamas butchers mercilessly attacked your parents and grandparents, your nieces and nephews, your Haverim, your colleagues, perhaps in the very towns and streets where you grew up.
During the event, images of those kidnapped within the last week were put on display. Meanwhile, a doctor in Brandon spent part of his day packing boxes of medical donations to send to Israel. Dr. Ori Gad from HCA Florida Brandon just came back from visiting his family in Israel 3 weeks ago. And over the past week, he gathered medical supplies for the Israeli front line.
I reached out to management here at HCA Florida Brandon, and they've been able to provide us a ton of supplies.
The donations will head to Miami, where an Israeli airline will fly them to frontline hospitals in Israel. It's been over a week now since Hamas attacked Israel, and Israel quickly retaliated. And as the war in the Middle East continues, your mental well-being may be impacted after seeing the disturbing videos and graphic images on display, especially on social media. New tonight, I talk with a mental health advocate about how vicarious trauma can affect you and your kids. Meanwhile, I also spoke to a local rabbi about how to talk to our children regarding the Hamas-Israel conflict. Take a listen.
We have to be honest with our children, and we have to talk with them about the fact that there are things that happen in this world that are dark and things that go against who we are and what we believe in.
Rabbi Mendy Dubrowski of Chabad South Tampa also says we don't need to go into the gory details about the terrible imagery that's out there now. Instead, focus on a positive outlook.
The most important thing we need to give our children is hope, confidence that just as we've overcome terrible tragedies in the past, we will move forward and overcome this as well. Children must believe in a better future above all else.
Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken just announced President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit Israel on Wednesday. New tonight, Lakeland's fire union is sounding an alarm. The union is calling out an issue that it says is putting firefighters and the people they protect in a very vulnerable position. ABC Action News reporter Chad Mills has the fix the union is now pushing for. Still ahead at 11, the Buccaneers quarterback walked away with an injured arm after Sunday's game. We have an update on Baker Mayfield's x-rays. That's next. Plus, a new pro sports team is looking to lay down roots right here in Tampa, why they need support from the Hillsborough County School Board to make it happen.
When it comes to getting through hurricane season, preparation is key, and that includes your home. One of the best things you can do is to protect your windows. If you don't have storm shutters, buy plywood and other materials now. Have them cut and ready to go before a storm is headed this way. We've got more ways to storm-proof your home on abcactionnews.com/hurricane.
From our team at West Shore Home, stay safe this hurricane season and always listen to local experts when it comes to evacuations.
Welcome back. It's back to the drawing board this week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They'll need to redeem themselves at home this weekend when they take on the Atlanta Falcons. Happening tomorrow, the Hillsborough County School Board members will vote on a partnership with a new professional sports team coming to Tampa. The women's soccer team is looking to borrow the stadium at Blake High School until it finds a permanent home here in Tampa. The team promises to pay for some major upgrades for the stadium, including adding thousands of extra seats. They would play games on Saturdays. City leaders say this could mean a boost for downtown Tampa's economy as well. Again, the school board voting on this proposal tomorrow, and of course, we'll keep you posted on what they decide. A local nonprofit group is empowering young people to pursue the sport of lacrosse. The Knights Lacrosse Foundation in South Tampa is inviting kids to play for free. The organization is also partnering with USA Lacrosse to run a free clinic for kids 8 to 14 years old at Foster Park. This is all happening during National Celebrate Lacrosse Week on November 4th. Ryan Becker is the foundation's executive director, and he's making it all happen.
But 100% for free. Anyone that wants to come out and try lacrosse, Knights Lacrosse Foundation will fund everything. Sticks provided, and then if you keep coming out to our practices afterwards, we'll fund all the equipment for you to play too.
Registration for the Pick Up and Play Clinic is open right now. You can find more information on our website. Head over to abcactionnews.com. New tonight, a local organization is making a big difference for those in Maui who are still recovering from the wildfires back in August. The group Hope to Dream is sending more than 300 beds to the wildfire survivors. They raise money for the beds through a fundraising event and through a partnership with the Salvation Army. All right, let's check back in with meteorologist Shay Ryan as we take a live look outside right now. Ray J's looking nice and pretty, but I'll tell you, it's definitely got a chill in the air, and it is wonderful.
Yes, you and I are going to be in the jackets and turtlenecks phase here for a little while.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, tomorrow morning we are going to be waking up to temps that are mainly in the 50s. So right now the temps are falling back through the 60s. You can see the camera shaking there, or maybe they're trying to move the direction of the view, but this is the Hyatt Regency Clearwater camera looking over the Intercoastal right now. 61 degrees in Tampa, and it feels like 61. The dew points are quite low, and the winds have now shifted to the north, and they're lightening up. So right now, the 24-hour temp difference is about 10 degrees. Now, when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to be about 15 degrees below average for this time of year. So definitely cooler than this morning, and we'll end the day about the same, but without the wind and without the extra cloud cover. So it's going to be a beautiful, very fall-like day with even below average temps for this time of year from start to finish. So we will see that with that northerly wind, it keeps the clouds moving across the Gulf of Mexico. Instead of moving inland, it also keeps the showers offshore, so it's that Gulf-enhanced cloud cover and chance for rain that we'll get as we see these next couple of fronts come through with strong winds coming in across the Gulf. But again, as they turn to the north and we get a north to south flow, we cut off the moisture source coming inland, and so we end up with the sunny skies, and that's what we see tomorrow. So again, as we continue through the middle of the week, we get more sunshine and we are going to warm up slightly, and then we will see another front come through. So it's just going to be that roller coaster ride that we take in between fronts now. And you can see that the dew points are in the 40s, keeping us in that dry range. But even as they come up over the next couple of days, we stay in the low to mid 50s, keeping us pleasant out there. And then our next frontal system will come through at the end of the week and just kind of level things off. It won't be a real strong, nasty front like we had the last time around with chances for severe storms. This one looks like it's going to be pretty low impact. But take a look at the temps here. So this morning, or at least I should say, the lowest temp that we experienced throughout the day, 63 degrees. The highest temp, 73, well below average from the lowest to the highest here. And as we look at tomorrow morning, even lower. So we start off at 54 degrees in Tampa, upper 40s to the north around Crystal River, Brooksville, and Zephyr Hills, close to 60 around the beaches in St. Pete. And if you are planning on hanging out along the coast, the temps are going to be in the mid to upper 60s for highs. We'll have a nice mix of sun and clouds. There is a chance we'll see more cloud cover right along the coast because of those winds shifting to the north and still picking up a little bit of Gulf moisture there closer to the coastline, but it's unlikely that you'd see any measurable rain. At best, you would get a brief sprinkle or some drizzle. Highs tomorrow inland are going to be in the low to mid 70s, so we're not going to be all that warm, certainly well below average for this time of year, and temps still struggling to hit the 70-degree mark in some spots here from Crystal River on through Newport Richey into Clearwater and St. Pete. Over the next 7 days, we do have some changes to the forecast. Like I said, we start to warm up, and we'll be back up near 80 degrees on Wednesday afternoon, and then continuing to warm up on Thursday. By Friday and Saturday, we do have that next front that's going to come through. It's rather weak and it doesn't have a lot of rain packed with it. So behind it, we get just kind of evened out when it comes to the temps and the humidity. We won't see them coming up a whole bunch. It'll help to limit them a little bit, but we definitely don't have the cool down that we have this time around. So we'll be back with temps in the mid 60s overnight by Monday morning. And the afternoon high around 84 by Monday. Still below average, by the way, but at least it's warming up a little bit there.
All right, thank you, Shay. Still to come tonight, preserving the Florida Everglades. We'll go in depth on a massive new project in the works.
There's closing in. The ABC Action News Storm Tracker hits the road for you. A weather station on wheels. The Storm Tracker shows you what's really going on outside.
ABC Action News Storm Tracker is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan.
Some promising news tonight for Florida oranges. The state's citrus forecast is expected to improve after some major hardships last year. As we've reported, last year's hurricane season caused some serious damage to our citrus crops. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Florida is expected to produce more than 20 million boxes of oranges during the upcoming season. Farmers are also forecasted to harvest nearly 2 million boxes of grapefruit. For years now, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has been trying to conserve the Florida Everglades, its wildlife and the lands near there. And just this year, the agency proposed a new project that's considered a win-win for landowners and our state. Reporter Sofia Hernandez spoke to conservationists about this project.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Lakeland Chrysler Dodge Jeep on I-4 Exit 31.
Shay?
All right, taking a look at the 7-day forecast here. We've got plenty of sunshine over the next couple of days, much less cloud cover than today along the coast. And talk about a cool start to the day and a finish tomorrow in the low 70s.
Looks good. ABC Action News always on when you need us. Make sure to add ABC Action News Plus to your connected device. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Join us for Tampa Bay's Morning Blend. We've got the food, fun, and the latest events that make the Bay Area great. Plus the best deals you can use. Tampa Bay's Morning Blend, weekdays at 10 a.m. Sponsored by the law offices of Andajar and Levine, accident attorneys.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.